really matter the colors, but I'm just taking distress paint, put some on there. Again, I'm going to take my blending foam and I'm just going to paint a background. Doesn't really matter the color, but because I want to have a patina look, I'm choosing blue and green. But if you wanted something a little bit more shabby chic, maybe you want to do pinks back there or yellows, whatever.
Is this the one we did at Ranger? Oh.
So this one I'm going to take, dry this layer. And then I'm going to go over this with metallic. So I'm going to really shake this up. Metallic's, of course, very fluid, so I'm going to dab that down, really get this juiced up. And then I'm going to apply this to the surface. Now when you apply this to the surface, you want to get enough paint on there. And then we're going to take our water bottle and immediately get some water on there. So whether it's going to be droplets of water, or maybe we want to concentrate some water in different areas. And then we're going to dry this with a heat tool. But not all the way. But I need to go find a paper towel. I'm going to run over to Diane's. Stay right here. Important. Paper towel over the surface. So I basically dry it until that tag starts to curl. Okay? Then you're going to hold that there for a minute, and then you're going to peel this back. And what happens is you get a really cool eroded metallic effect, because what we've done basically is and I'm not finished because I'm still going to ink over this, but what we've done is we're able to get some color as our foundation. That was our blues and greens. Put the metallic over the top, but then while the metallic's wet, keep it wet by spraying water on it, but drying the rest. Okay, so in other words, if you misted the entire tag, the whole thing would stay wet, and then when you took it off, all of it would come off. So then I'm going to go in and add some distress to it. So here we'll take some colors of ink. We'll make it even more distressed. Take a little walnut stain if I want. I'm going to go in with some rusty hinge. Take some of that and just really get some ink on there. I want it to be a little bit darker. Now our paints, of course, are going to be permanent at this point, but our inks are not. So same thing, I'm going to just try to create kind of that splattery effect by getting some water on there. If you want it to drip a little bit, you can create some drips. Dry it just to get some of that water to stay, and then we're going to lift this layer off. This is going to reveal a whole different look, because where the water hits, that's of course going to remove that ink layer to make those colors brighter, but the rest is going to keep that finish. And then I can go in again with a dark color. This is a little bit of black soot, just to create kind of that true little tarnished edge. And then same thing, if we wanted to stamp this, we could stamp it.
Did you say you had a tutorial on your blog for this? Or?
No.
Oh.
No, I did a tutorial.
Kill him.
I'll give you my card and I'll post it.
But it's Sarah from Craft Test Dummies filming. Yeah.
This is Sarah from Craft Test
There you
Dummies
go.
filming.
That's right. That's a cool thing.
I have your
Then we're able to
I'll
stamp
give
this
you
down.
one too for the side I went for.
Lift that off, and same thing. So I'm just, these stamps are here, so I'm just using them. But it's really cool because, so this background, even if you didn't want to use stamps, you could go in with your die cuts and punch. You know, imagine if you just started punching out butterflies. They're going to look like little copper patinaed butterflies. It's crazy. It's just a really cool background. So same thing, just pressing in some stamps on there.
With the cogs or the wheels, the
Yeah,
Sizzix die cut would
it's
look
ridiculous.
so cool on that.
And again, we'll go into true color just to show you.
Wow, it's gorgeous.
I know, it's so cool.
It is
I want a
so
wall like that. I do. I need to do that on a much bigger scale. Yeah. And different paper towels are actually going to give you different effects too. If they have texture to them, when you put that on, like if they have little bumps in them, you can kind of create that look too. But it's fun. You know, the trick to this technique really is about making sure, first of all, your base layer is dry, which we did. Second, when you put your metallic on, you get it on there. You you fuss around with blending it and smushing it on, it's going to dry. So we need to get the metallic on there and keep it wet, which is why we went in with water. And when I did water, it was really about kind of doing that spritz motion to get drops on there. If you missed it, you're keeping everything wet. So if you're not really good at kind of doing the neck of the bottle, just put water in your hands and flick drops on there. Then you still have to go in with a heat tool because we want to dry everything around it. So the water is keeping those areas wet while we're drying everything else around it. And then the most important thing was that paper towel that I had to go run for. Because if you just take your normal cloth and you wipe it, you're basically repainting the tag with the wet paint. So what we needed to do is basically lift it off. And that's how you get it. But I think adding that ink and getting that next layer, just like, yeah, it looked good when you pulled that off. When you start putting the ink on there, it's ridiculously good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love that effect.
Did you sign that?
It's really cool.